To sew our first sample, I'm going to have just a square of fabric that I've cut. You do want it to be fairly large. It'll be a lot easier when you go to serge than if it was cut smaller. So I'm going to take my 2 pieces of fabric and I'm going to put them right sides together. So that means the right sides are facing each other. This is just plain white fabric. So I've made an X mark on the wrong sides of my fabric. So right and wrong is like, the pattern is face up here, the pattern is face up here, those are touching each other, okay? And then I'm just gonna put some pins down one side of my fabric, and that's what the side that I'm going to be sewing on. The reason we use pins is just so the fabric stays nicely in place. When we are sewing, we wanna make sure that we are not sewing over our pins. This is especially important for the industrial machines, and when you get to sergers, you absolutely cannot sew over the pins because there's a knife blade that will either cut through the pin and snap it up and fling it somewhere, or it'll break the knife, and those are really expensive to replace. So just make sure we're taking out our pins as we are going. I'm left-handed, so I put the pin heads to the left. So as I'm sewing, I can remove the pins with my left hand while still guiding the fabric with my right hand. So now I'm going to come into the machine. I'm going to sew a 1/2 inch seam on the edge of the fabric. You guys will see that on the throat plate, there is a line to the left of 1/2 inch, and that is what indicates a 1/2 inch. And then for this seam, I am going to back stitch. Sorry, just try to make my light in the right spot. I'm going to back stitch at the beginning and the end. These machines are very just, standard, not digitized like your other machines. So the lever for back stitching is here. When I'm pushing down, it will back stitch. When I let go of it, it will forward stitch. So that's how I do a back stitch. So I'm gonna raise my presser foot. Okay, I'm gonna slide my fabric in. I'm going to turn my hand wheel towards me, just like we've done with all of our other machines. And then I'm going to turn my hand wheel towards me till the needle goes all the way down into the fabric. Then I'm going to let go of the presser foot. Like I said in the beginning video, these machines can go very fast. So try to start off as slow as you can until you get comfortable with it. So you're going to sew 3 to 5 stitches, back stitch all the way to the edge of your fabric. Then you're going to continue sewing. As I'm going, before I get to the pins, I'm removing my pins. So now I'm going to sew to the edge of my fabric. I'm going to back stitch 3 to 5 stitches, and then I'm going to sew off the edge of the fabric. That's an important piece that a lot of people tend to miss. Now, something different with these industrial machines. They come unthreaded ridiculously easily. So you're going to want to, when you pull out your fabric, make sure your threads are really, really long. That helps it to not come unthreaded. You all have a little drawer to the left of your machine, and there should be a little tiny pair of scissors in there. These industrial machines don't have thread cutters, so you can just use these little pair of scissors to cut your threads, and then just make sure those go back in the drawer for later use. And this is what it will look like for your first part of sample number 1.